When I think of video game mascot of all time, my mind goes to this fellow.
It's me, Mario!
That's right, our Nintendo mascot, Mario. Mario started off in 1981 as Jumpman in the classic Donkey Kong arcade. Then a couple years later, he would get his own arcade game called Mario Brothers with the help of his brother Luigi. But in 1985, something big has happened. Enter Nintendo Entertainment System, the first Nintendo video game home console that ever came out, and one of the games that became the face of the system and continue on for generations for years to come, Super Mario Bros. This game has turned 40 years old this year, and what many considered the first ever Mario platformer adventure game. After many years, Mario has released so many games, not just his mainline series called Super Mario. No, he would do kart racing, parties, sports, Smash Brothers, role-playing games, and even playing as a doctor. But in this video, I'm not going to go through all of them. This video is mainly on all of the Mario platformer mainline series. That's right, I'm including 18 Super Mario games in this ranked video. Yes, this is my first video game ranked video I've done on the channel. I've done movies ranked before, but not a video game one before. And since Mario's first main game turned 4 years old, I feel like this is a perfect one to do a video on him. Before I get to the games, there are quick reminders. I will be including the Lost levels since that game was exclusive to Japan, and the game did make it to North America, but with the name, which it was the actual Super Mario Bros. 2. Though, I do have the US Super Mario Bros. 2 in this video. So don't fret, people. I will be including spin-off games since they technically don't count as mainline games. Plus, you won't be seeing Yoshi's Island. I will be including New Super Luigi U because it's just an expansion pack of New Super Mario Bros. U. I won't be including the Mario Maker games as I already did a review on both games, and they're more game creation system than an actual platformer. And I'm not counting Super Mario Run. Well, that game is published by Nintendo. It wasn't on home console nor in handheld. It came out on mobile devices, not including that game. But yeah, let's get to my ranking every main Super Mario games on Nintendo systems. Super Mario Bros. Was the game that started it all. After 40 years, the game is still addicting. I can understand why this game was popularized by the system and even the side-scroller genre. For 8-bit graphics at the time was really good, but as of now, the graphics is outdated when it comes to later Mario games and other video games as of today. The music is, however, has that 8-bit vibes, but the music in the game is classic, like the overworld music, the underground music, the underwater music, and the castle music. The musics are very little, but they are very hummable to this day. Besides those elements, what about the gameplay? It's timeless as ever. It's mainly a 2D side-scroller where the gameplay is very typical of Mario running, jumping on enemies, and even grabbing power-ups, in which there's only two. Mushroom to grow super, and Fire Flower where it uses fire powers. Over time, they added more power-ups, but this was the first. Another thing in the game is I know a lot of people like to do, myself included, is jumping to warp pipes that skips other worlds. I mean, that's a big skip going from World 1 to World 8 in less than 5 minutes. Still, I went back and played all the worlds without warping, and yeah, it's pretty good as always. The game is not that difficult, so you can beat it no problem. Now, with all the praise of this game, you would think that I put it higher in the rank list. Unfortunately, I can't defy it as the best video game or my favorite game out of all the Mario games. I don't see it. I can see why it's the greatest, but the best or my favorite? I don't know about that. I really give credit to Nintendo for being the first Mario platforming game and how it started, but it was little limitations at the time. I still enjoy the game for what it was, but it's not necessarily my favorite. But if I had to give it a rank, I'm gonna put the first Super Mario Bros. Game in the good category. Still deserves it. Super Mario Bros. 2 is interesting because it was different than the Japan version. The actual Super Mario Bros. 2 game had the same graphics and gameplay, but it was more difficult in a lot of ways, and that's why Nintendo changed this version. The game was based on a Japanese game called Doki Doki Panic. The only difference is they swapped different characters of the sprites. I know this is one of the controversial games due to borrowing to other game, but if you take that aside, the game is actually quite good. The gameplay and graphics are a little different than the first one. You can play as Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Toad. This is where they had different abilities. Even they pick up enemies and items, that's a cool addition. Plus, the enemies aren't new in the series, like Bob-Ombs, Shy Guys, and Birdo. Unfortunately, there's no Bowser in this game, but they changed the final boss of him to a frog named Wart. But yeah, despite the change, this is a good game, and I like they update the gameplay a little more. It may not be a perfect one, but this is a good one. I'm gonna put it in the good category, but I'm gonna put it next to the first game. Super Mario Bros. 3 is the best Mario game on NES. They improved the game a lot more. First off, they use an overworld map of where to go, in which I like that. There's 8 worlds to go around. I even like the worlds they introduced, like the desert, snow, sky, and even the giant land. This is when Mario games started with its level design. It made the challenge a lot harder than the first Mario game. They even introduced new power-ups for Mario. A leaf that turns Mario into a raccoon. It can even fly in the air. There's a frog suit, hammer suit, and probably the silliest power-up, a Tanuki suit. Besides flying, it can even turn Mario into a statue. That's random. Bowser does return in the game where he stomps the floor. But yeah, Super Mario Bros. 3 is really good. A lot more improvement over the iconic first Super Mario Bros. Game. I'm gonna put this game in the great category, above over the first 2 Mario games on NES. Starting off at Mario's first platformer on handheld, Super Mario Land on Game Boy. I don't think I mentioned this before, but it was the first Mario platformer game I've ever played because my brother owned a Game Boy, and this is one of them. And I will admit, I had some nostalgic memories playing it. Keep in mind, I was little playing it, and I did not beat this game. It wasn't until 2008 when I let my brother beat the whole game, and he did. Then I had to play on the 3DS Virtual Console, and yeah, it's good after beating it. While I appreciate for being the first Mario platformer game on a handheld, I don't think it's that strong. There are some changes that the other Mario games don't have. First off, there's no Princess Peach in this game. In this, you save another princess, Daisy, and this is her first debut. Second, there's no Bowser similar to US Mario Bros. 2. Instead, this alien named Tatanga. Third, I like some gameplay aspect like Mario riding underwater and even in the air. I like that Mario rides on rocks to avoid spiky platforms, something that didn't happen in the past Mario games. Besides those, it's not at the top than Super Mario Bros. 3. Mario only has one power-up, and it's the shortest Mario game on par with the first Super Mario Bros. There's only like 4 worlds throughout the game, which is pretty short to beat the game for one day. The graphics and music are good in terms of Game Boy standards. Super Mario Land is good, but not on the same level as the greatest one. I'm gonna put this game in the good category, but lower. Super Mario World was the next installment that came out on a brand new Nintendo console, the Super Nintendo. In fact, the game came out on launch day. I've done a whole video on the game when it turned 30 a while back, so I'll say it very brief. It introduced a cape power-up and the P balloon, as well as the first introduction of the character, Yoshi, where he rides on Mario and eats enemies. Super Mario World has over 90 worlds, which is a lot to include. In fact, the extra world called Star Road was introduced. My review of the game has not really changed since that video back in 2021. It's still my favorite 2D Mario game. I love that the game is not an easy task. It's more challenging and has a lot of worlds to go to. I probably like it more than 3 to be honest. Super Mario World is one of my top favorites of Mario games, and the first one to make it in the amazing category. Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins, takes the previous Mario Land and surpassed it. My brother sadly didn't buy Super Mario Land 2 on Game Boy, in which I would have liked to play it. Thankfully I did on the 3DS Virtual Console. The gameplay builds and expands it with innovations that carried over from Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario World. Mario has to travel to the Mario Land areas and collect 6 golden coins. Seems fair to get them. And the debut in the game is none other than Wario. That's right, not Bowser in this game. Wario takes over the castle. And afterwards, Nintendo would later make the Wario Land spin-off games. Like 3 in World, it does have an overworld map, and I like that the worlds that Mario goes, like the Mario Zone and a Robot Mario World and Pumpkin Zone. Mario does have one new power-up, and that's the bunny one, where he can hover while in the air, total opposite of the raccoon power-up. Besides that, the game is a lot better than the first Super Mario Land game. There's more going on in the worlds, and it has collecting the coins. It's not super short, but it has a good length overall. I'm going to put Mario Land 2 in the good category, but above Super Mario Bros. 1 and 2. Here's the first 3D platformer in the Super Mario series, Super Mario 64, and probably the most influenced on 3D platform games. It came out on launch day on Nintendo 64 and gained a cult following ever since. I didn't play on the Virtual Console, but I did play on Super Mario 3D All-Stars on the Switch, and I'm so glad I did because this game is amazing. Now, I knew the graphics are pretty outdated to this day because later Mario games have better graphics. That is true, but this game started in 1996, at a time when it was revolutioning 3D style, similar to Pixar with Toy Story. I'm not trying to criticize the graphics because that's what it was. I still think some parts in the game where the graphics did look impressive at the time. The game was pretty hard when it comes to the levels and even the boss battle with Bowser. Plus, I've seen people speedrun this game. Like, how do they do that? Besides the challenge, I really love almost everything. The levels, the gameplay, the music. I like that the worlds are inside magical paintings inside Peach's castle. Some people don't like the virtual camera system. I mean, it wasn't distracting, but I get the whole camera system because of 3D tech. But taking it aside, this is a great Mario game. Easily in my top 5 favorite Mario games. I'm definitely putting it in the amazing category, but only behind Super Mario World. Super Mario Sunshine was the next 3D installment game after Super Mario 64. It was released on Nintendo GameCube, a new system coming right after it. This is another game I've done a whole video on when it turned 20 a while back. I remember playing the game for the first time and I was enjoying it, but around the time I was around age 10, it was when I got stuck at the game. But then, Super Mario 3D All-Stars got released with 3 games and Mario Sunshine was on there, and I was ready to beat the game, and thankfully I did. My opinions on the review has not changed. I did like the graphics improved a little more than Super Mario 64. While not revolutionary, it was good. I like that it takes place in a different area, for this case, Delfino Plaza. And I like that it introduced Bowser Jr., a character that disguised as Shadow Mario. I still like the gameplay overall. The flood is a good feature where you can spray water and hover in the air. Yoshi is playable, of course. I do like the worlds. Well, it may not have great level designs, but it is fun after all. I still stand by that the weakest part in the game is the platforming mechanic, and yeah, it still is to this day. It has difficulty, but not as high as like Super Mario 64 or Mario World. After beating the game for years, I really do like it. I'm gonna put Super Mario Sunshine in the great category. New Super Mario Bros. Was a revival of the 2D platforming genre. Here's a few reasons why. One is, there hasn't been a new 2D Mario game in around 14 years. 2, the original Super Mario Bros. Turned 20 prior to this game, so the game was made for a new generation. And 3, it was great to do it on a Nintendo DS. Game Boy Advance never got a new 2D Mario game because they were porting past 2D Mario games. So for this game, this was a good step up. Though I don't know if people are harsh on this game because it was the first installment in the new Super Mario Bros. Sub-series, and while I get it, I don't actually hate the game. This is one of the games I wanted to get on the Nintendo DS, and thankfully I got it with my Christmas money. I got stuck a little bit of the game, but by around 2008, it was time to beat the whole game. But yeah, this game is really good. However, it does have its issues. The difficulty of the game is not that hard. I can easily breeze through the game. Even the experience does feel a little bit repetitive, but they do add a few new things, like they included Bowser Jr. in this. I like some of the new power-ups, like the mini mushroom, the blue shell that Mario covers inside, and the mega mushroom, which I really like that item. And after almost 20 years, this is a really good game. It was the start of the new Super Mario Bros. Series, and thankfully, it's not the worst out of the bunch. I'm gonna place it in the high good category. We come to one of the highly praised Mario games in this series, Super Mario Galaxy. Released on Nintendo Wii, a system that uses motion controls rather than standard controls. This game I've been dying to talk about. After I got the Wii, this was one of the games I wanted to play, in which took me a year to get it, but man, was it worth it. When I first played and beat the game all the way, I was loving it. The gameplay, the graphics, the controls, even the soundtrack, everything in the game is fantastic. The motion controls didn't bother me at all. It was a learning curve, but at least I know how to use the spin attack. The power-ups are amazing. Besides Fire Flower, there's Ice Flower that shoots ice, there's Mario dressed as a bee to fly, there's even Mario disguises as Boo, where it goes through walls, and even the Spring Mario, which was hard to get used to, but over time grew on me. And what can I say about the soundtrack? This was the first Mario game to use full symphony orchestra, and I love it. The difficulty was hard when I first played it, but over time got better. I did actually went back and play the same game again on Super Mario 3D All-Stars, and yep, it hasn't changed, but did get better. Still, Super Mario Galaxy is still amazing after almost 18 years. Definitely putting it in the amazing category. Following the game on the Nintendo DS, we have New Super Mario Bros. Wii. For what else? On Wii. When this game got announced back at E3 2009, I was really excited. Why? Because it was a follow-up to the game on the DS. But the new addition in this game was adding multiplayer, something that tried to do in Super Mario 64, but failed due to limitations. I mean, it's fine to use multiplayer in a platformer game, though critics say there's lack of innovation compared to the other Mario titles, and while I get it, this game is actually the better New Super Mario Bros. Games. And while I'll get to the 3DS and Wii U ones, the Wii game is actually really good. Keep in mind, this is the 2D Mario game on a home console since Super Mario World 18 years ago. It does have a bit of motion controls, which is good to do. I really do like the new power-ups in this one. Propeller suit, the ice flower, and even the penguin suit, which same functions as ice flower, but they do slide along the ground or on water. That's really cool. Also, Yoshi returns in this game, great nod to Mario World, and the Koopalings return with Bowser Jr. battling in airships. On top of that, the Wii has more worlds and levels than the DS. The soundtrack is a little improvement over the DS, because at least they updated the music instead of repeating it. So yeah, I get the whole lack of innovation and it can be easy sometimes. This game is really fun overall. I'm gonna put this game in the great category, but lower. After the success of Super Mario Galaxy, the team decided to expand upon it and make a sequel, Super Mario Galaxy 2. Like New Super Mario Bros. Wii, this game got announced back at E3 2009, and once again, I was really excited. I beat the first one months before the second one came out, and I will never forget the day, you guys. I was getting out of elementary school, and one of my graduation gifts was Super Mario Galaxy 2. I beat the game during that summer, and I love this game. Not only is it my favorite Mario game, not only that it's my favorite Wii game, but it's my favorite game, period. No, seriously, I can talk about this game for like 20 minutes, but I want to save that in the future video. Super Mario Galaxy 2 has so many improvements over the first game. It has everything. The word I would describe this game is masterful. I've been loving it so much that I want to play video games. This is the most amazing Mario game on my list. Definitely putting it in the high amazing category. Moving on to the Nintendo 3DS, we have Super Mario 3D Land. This was the first 3D Mario platformer game on a handheld, and boy did that work. It does have that 2D aspect, but it's more 3D in terms of cameras and even the effect on the 3DS handheld. I mentioned during the 3DS's 10th anniversary video that it's my favorite 3DS game, and it still is to this day. The graphics do look great in 3DS quality, the level designs look great, and the power-ups are fun to use. It's good that they brought the Tanuki suit to float in the air. A new power-up introduced is the Boomerang Mario, which is mainly to throw boomerangs. Still, a fun item. All in all, this was a good way to introduce a type of 3D Mario game, but it's nowhere going to be as high as Super Mario 64 or the Super Mario Galaxy games. Still, it's the best one on a handheld. I'm going to place it in the great category, but above New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Moving from one Mario 3DS platformer game to another, here's New Super Mario Bros. 2. Okay, the title of it seems weird. Wouldn't New Super Mario Bros. Wii be the actual New Super Mario Bros. 2? But I can totally understand that this game is a direct sequel to the one from DS. And I'm just gonna say this right now, this is easily the weakest Mario platformer game. Say all you want about the original Super Mario Bros. Or Super Mario Land, but at least they were different when it comes to the gameplay. This one is just the same old. That doesn't necessarily make this game fully bad, but it is underwhelming. The biggest thing they use in the game is the gimmick of grabbing every coins in this game. Like, it felt like this game was rushed right after Super Mario 3D Land, and this is right when a new Super Mario Bros. Game was coming to Wii U. I liked it when I first played it, but over time, it just got worse. It lacks originality and innovation compared to any of the other ones. Not only that, but the 3D effect on the game sucks. That being said, there are moments I like in the game. I like they brought back Raccoon Mario. There are some fun challenges. There are some good ideas in it, despite it focus on coins. And I have to admit, the DLC is a good addition. This game didn't make me angry as much, but it's not one I want to go back and play. It is fun, but it can be repetitive and not much originality. Easily the weakest Mario game and the weakest New Super Mario Bros. Game. This game gets the first to be in the okay category. Not a bad game, but not a great one. Here comes the last of the New Super Mario Bros. Games, New Super Mario Bros. U. The first Mario game on Wii U and came out on launch day. Now, does this game make it the same old style as the other New Super Mario Bros. Games? In which it does, but I didn't find it underwhelming. When I first beat the game, I was originally going to put it above the Wii version and be the best one out of the four. But looking back, it doesn't go as high as the Wii, but it is certainly better than New Super Mario Bros. 2. However, while the gameplay is still the same, I did like some that improved a few things. They added a character named Nabbit, and Mario chases to grab Nabbit. I did like the flying squirrel suit, in which, yeah, it's another Mario flying power-up, but it is cool you can glide gently and then going up. I also like the Yoshi power-ups, something that did miss in the Wii version. I love Yoshi, and I did like the Yoshi items like the balloon or the bubble. I like the difficulty way more than 2, and maybe the Wii version, but the rest is good for another New Super Mario Bros. Game. One thing that stands out besides the gameplay are the visuals. I mean, one level has this Vincent van Gogh art painting. Like, it is so good. Plus, the graphics did improve a little more than the Wii. I did like the music a little more since it doesn't necessarily recycle it, unlike 2. Over time, it doesn't go as high as like Super Mario Bros. 3 or Super Mario World because they were innovative. This one almost did, but it was trying to copy what the new Super Mario Bros. Series did. Bottom line, it's a really good one, and I do recommend it. But it doesn't crack in the top 10 spot of Mario platformer games. It did have a DLC game called New Super Luigi U, and even a part of New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe on the Switch. Like, it's still fun and it has creativity, but can't say it's one of the best ones. I'm thinking about putting it in the high good category, but higher than the first New Super Mario Bros. Game. Following from Super Mario 3D Land, we have Super Mario 3D World on Wii U. This is another game I did a whole video review on, so I'll mention quickly. When it was first shown at E3 2013, I was excited for a game to directly follow Super Mario 3D Land and improve more. I love that you can swap characters with different abilities similar to Super Mario Bros. 2. And like the 2 new Super Mario Bros. Games, it does have multiplayer. The graphics did improve more than 3D Land and even new Super Mario Bros. U. It may not have that painting level, but it does look beautiful. The soundtrack is probably one of the best parts in the game. I did like the power-ups like the cat suit to attack enemies and climbing walls, and even the cherry to duplicate. I even like the level designs. The only gripe with the game is the final boss battle with Bowser, and even the difficulty is weird. It gets easy, but by around the second half, it gets pretty hard. But besides that, it's one of the best Mario games on my list. The game even ported to the Switch with Bowser's Fury game added. Still, not much has changed other than it's great. Definitely putting it in the great category. It's the return of Sandbox 3D Mario game, Super Mario Odyssey. Our first one on the Nintendo Switch. This is another game I did a whole review on. In my opinion, still hasn't changed that much. It is hands down my favorite Nintendo Switch game and one of my favorite Mario games. This game feels like a return to the open-ended 3D platformer, and I'm glad it did. Instead of collecting stars, you collect moons. Mario does not have any new power-ups, but he brings a new ally, Cappy, and transforms into anything. I love that the game is being creative, and while the game was easy at times, it was a lot of fun. If Nintendo ever brings a sequel on the Switch 2, please make it more creative. Still, it was a fantastic step up to the 3D Mario games, or just Mario in general. If I had to put this, it would probably be on the 4th spot, and is definitely one of my favorite video games. Definitely putting it in the amazing category. And we have reached the recent Mario platformer game as of now, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which another game I did a video on. When this game got announced back in 2023 during Nintendo Direct, I was so ready for a new 2D Mario game, which the new Super Mario Bros. Games, let's face it, was just worn out. So it was great to do a new 2D Mario game. I still stand by this is an amazing 2D Mario game. And while it's not as high as like Super Mario World because it's more retro, Wonder is more modern, and I do like the expansions of the world. Everything in the game is what I wanted from the new Super Mario Bros. Games, and they did. It has multiplayer mode, it has great music, graphics, and gameplay. I like the new power-ups like the elephant, the drill, and the bubble suit. The Wonder effects is probably one of the best parts about the game. It is the most wackiest Mario game that ever did. I even love the replay value in which you have to go back and get every Wonder Seeds. All in all, Super Mario Bros. Wonder is fantastic. It's easily one of the best 2D Mario games. I'm gonna put it in the great category. I don't think the game makes it to amazing, but definitely a solid one. And that is it, folks. 18 Super Mario platforming games. Mario has made great quality of his platforming games. Hopefully they introduce a couple of new platformers on the Switch too, and see if they can improve a lot more. His games will live on, and I'm so thankful to be a fan of him. This ranked video is not a long one, but it's still worth it for the Mascot's 40th anniversary. That is all for this ranked video. Let me know which Mario platforming games that are on your list in terms of favorites to least favorites. But yeah, I have more video game ranked videos on the way. But happy 40 years to the original game, Super Mario Bros. And, well, go play his games, literally. I will see you all in the next video.